What's going on, Washington Commander Nation and NFL fans in general? It's your boy Rio back with another one. Tonight we're getting in a full first round mock draft, and it's brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino and Washington on the Daily on Instagram. Got to bring my guy in, Jalen Morgan of the Bleeding B&G podcast, aka Stunna. What's good, my dog?
My guy, what's up, man? Back again. I need some redemption from your fans, man. They was eating me up after that Sauce versus Stingley video. So I gotta come back with some redemption.
They don't see the light. Stingley is cornerback one.
And you see, like, it's starting to come to the light. You see, like, the Texans are talking about drafting them with the 3rd overall pick. And like I always say over at Bleeding B&G, we not with the hype. We not with, the public opinion. We trust our own eyes over here. And I love Stingley. But, man, I'm happy to be back on the show. What's up with you, man?
Man, I'm ready, bro. We 3 days away from the draft, man. I ain't got no complaints on this side. It's lion season. It's rumor season. It's misinformation, all types of shit coming out season. And we're about to get right to it. We're about to do a full first round draft. Last year, I just started my podcast, and it was my first time doing something like that. You was fresh in the game as well. We did a full one. So every year we're going to do a full first round mock. Based on what you already know about this year's draft class, what do you think the theme of the first round of the draft is?
All right, before I get into that, though, I don't want to toot our own horns, but we were actually pretty accurate with that mock. Like, we actually hit on the Washington football team's pick at 19 with the Jamin Davis pick, but there were a slew of other picks that we actually hit on. So I'm hoping to have that much success again today. Might have to put our name in a mock draft, tournament somewhere or something like that. But the thing with this draft, I just think that, nobody actually just stands out. So even when I was making a mock draft, doing it with you, and we were just, piggybacking off names, it got to a point where I was around like 18. I'm thinking of like, are these guys worth the first round? So I think that there's, a clear first tier, and then it's a bunch of like second round talent. I think this is a second round draft for sure. Second and third round draft for sure.
Hell yeah. That's why like the whole trade back crowd, like I think a lot of teams want to trade back, but not a lot of teams want to come up. So it's like you got to find a partner for that. And it's not a QB rich draft on paper, or allegedly, as they say. Shout out my guy Austin with the $5 super chat. He said, as long as we don't pull a Las Vegas in the first round, I'm happy. Oh, he don't want an Alex Leatherwood or a Cleveland Farrell. Shout out my guy, man. I hope you're doing good, by the way, man. I ain't seen you in the comments in a while, bro. I'm glad to have you back this week. Shout out Carlton, Tyler, Be Easy, Patrick, Fight for ODC, Sam in the building. Stingley's better than Sauce. Y'all will see when they get to the next level.
They will see.
A lot. Gang, what's good? But yeah, let's just get right to the shits, man. Let's not even waste no time with it. We about to open up this draft machine. I'm picking the odd numbers. Jalen's picking the even. So I get to pick for the Washington Commanders. And you know what I'm saying? I like where I stand in this draft class. But let's go. Roger Goodell, ding, 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 plays the music. The draft is now open. And with the first pick of the draft, easy pick, Aiden Hutchinson. Don't overthink it. You just franchised your left tackle, Robinson. Don't take another one. Get the best player in the draft. Aiden Hutchinson. Effort guy, high motor guy. I won't call him a Bosa, but I don't think he's far from it as a prospect. Clean prospect. Easy first pick of the draft. What do you think?
I love it. I know there's some talk recently, and I think the odds actually moved with Trayvon Walker actually being the favorite at 1. But I think you get a solid player, a player that you know is going to produce. He may not have the highest ceiling, but his floor is pretty high as well. So I love that pick for Jacksonville. You pairing with a guy like Josh Allen, they might be wreaking havoc in the AFC South for sure.
Okay, how do you just a little rivalry comparison with Michigan and Ohio State? How does Aiden Hutchinson compare to Chase Young coming out?
Um, I think that Chase is a better athlete for sure, but I don't think that it's by a wide margin. Chase never really struck me as like the bendiest type of guy, even though he is a physical specimen. But like the production is there. While he didn't necessarily have, Chase Young's last year at Ohio State production, he was uber productive at Michigan. But I'm definitely leaning Chase Young as a prospect coming into the draft. How about you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aiden Hutchinson's that guy, man. Like I love Chase. I think Chase is freakier.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? The athletic metrics, even though he skipped out on that portion of the combine, but Aiden Hutchinson has more refined hands
Mm-hmm.
and technique, and we need to see Chase take a leap. But okay, you are on the clock with the Detroit Lions. What are we doing with the second pick in the draft?
So if they don't know, we like a little bit of flash overhead bleeding B&G. And one of
Okay.
the trends that I've seen with a lot of these mock drafts is like everybody's going chalk, and it's a little bit of boring. But what we know about the draft, any year, whether it be a bad year or a good year, you're going to have drama in the NFL draft. So with the second overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions, who are in this position at the moment, select quarterback Malik Willis from the University of Liberty. Or Liberty
Okay.
University. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Malik
yes,
at
yes.
number 2. You love to see it. This is my favorite quarterback in the draft by a mile. People are going to have such a problem with this pick. Why is this the right pick? Because I agree. Jared Goff, we know exactly who he is. I think he has a very capped ceiling, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to but he can also play a year or two for you
Mm-hmm.
while Malik gets his game sharpened. Why is this the perfect pick for the Lions?
I mean, you basically just said it all. I think Jared Goff is the perfect bridge QB, but Jared Goff isn't that guy that's going to take you to the next level. And then when you look back into the 2021 season, Detroit was on the rise at the end of the year, and if they continue to take that leap, I remember them like stomping out the Cardinals toward the end of the year. I think it was like
Oh
30-20 or something ridiculous like that. So if
Mhm.
they continue to take that leap, they might not be in prime position to draft a Bryce Young or CJ Stroud going into 2023. So how long are you going to kick this Jared Goff can down the road? So I think you might as well just take the freakish athletic, the guy that has the potential to be a generational type talent in Malik Willis with the second pick. Because like you said, Jared Goff just isn't that guy.
Yep, and you're not even playing any games because they picked 32nd in the draft. You're not even going to wait to see if you got to trade up. You're just getting your guy and being done with it.
Yeah, you get good players when they're available. Like my man Todd always says. So when you get a freakish talent like that at 2, you get it.
My man George said, guys, it's Jalen. Guys.
Guys.
If you guys haven't checked out our War Room draft, Jalen was Coach Rivera in it, and he was an absolute star. Him and Pascal and Zach as Del Rio, Scott and Ron, they absolutely bodied that shit. It said Willis will get drafted in the top 8. I believe so because I'm sorry, those traits are just that like ridiculous, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Prisco from CBS, I'm sorry, you can fucking kick rocks, my guy. He is a quarterback, and you're gonna see it. And I hope this QB draft class makes a lot of people look dumb because the way that they talk about it, you would think this is the EJ Manuel class, bro.
Yeah, and that's what bothered me because like in that class, there was literally no guy with any potential, and like
At all.
even like there wasn't a guy with a winning pedigree like a Desmond Ritter. No matter what we think about Desmond Ritter, I think he has the 4th best winning record in the history of NCAA football. There wasn't a guy like that in that draft. So I mean, I think that comparison is lazy for sure.
Definitely lazy, but man, I'm up with the third pick. I got the Houston Texans. The Houston can go a bunch of ways. I don't think they're going quarterback at all because I think they found something in Davis Mills. Davis Mills was the second best quarterback, and he might have been the most impressive quarterback we've seen as a rookie out of the rookie class last year, and he wasn't a first-round pick. Our guy, Tays guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going edge rusher here, and I'm not overthinking it like everybody else. I know that based off projection and stuff like that, people might talk themselves into Trevon Walker or
Mm,
Jermaine Johnson. I'm not overthinking this shit. With the third pick of the draft, the Texans are selecting Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't care about these character concerns or effort questions. I don't care about any of that. He is tooled up as hell. I think his ceiling is higher than all the edge rushers in this class. And the dude, he put on a show at the combat. His physical traits are crazy. Yeah, he's not. He didn't in college at Oregon go 100% every play. But I'm
mm,
not always looking for a finished product in college. Aiden Hutchinson is a safe pick because he's already a finished product coming out.
mm,
Kayvon Thibodeau has places to go. This man hit 27 reps at the combine.
mm.
The speed is fine. Like some of the short area stuff could do better, but I don't think the NFL is going to sleep on Thibodeau as much as the media would like to see. So I'm not overthinking. I'm going Kayvon at 3. Thoughts?
I like Kayvon. I don't know if I'll select him over a guy like Trayvon Walker, but like you said, this is your pick. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
Kayvon Walker is one of those guys that he's been great for a while. Like we've been hearing that name since he was in high school. A 5-star prospect. We actually didn't even expect him to go to like Oregon. He was one of those guys that was projected to go to like the Bamas and things like that. So I mean, I take it with a grain of salt with him taking plays off because I think that he thought that his talent was above Oregon. Not saying that it's right or wrong. But I think that he has like Bud Dupree type potential.
Okay.
Not the longest type of guys, but before he got hurt in his last year, Pittsburgh, Bud Dupree was a menace coming off the edge with T.J. Watt. So I think that's a solid pick at 3, getting an edge rusher like that.
Shout out to my guy. He said most of his years at Oregon, they had a losing record, so I don't blame him for not
Like I
going
just
100%.
said.
He wasn't trying to block his blessings, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he got a family to feed and a future and a
Mhm,
career that he knows what's going to happen either way. What are we
mhm.
doing with pick 4?
Well, pick 4. Keeping up with the controversy, with the drama. I have the New York Jets selecting wide receiver Drake London from the
Whoa.
University of Southern California.
Whoa. Drake London at 4. No sauce, no Stingley, no tackle. Explain it. Tell the folks why Drake London, Drizzy, is going number 4.
So
Wow.
this prospect, we've been talking about for Washington for months now, 3 or 4 months.
Mhm.
So I've watched a lot of film on this guy, and he's a guy that me and you both can say that we slept on him initially, right?
Very
But I
much
think
so.
that he was always higher in NFL circles than even the guys in the Washington Commander community on Twitter or any social media pages. I think that he was always higher. If you hear people talk about him, like a guy like Chris Sims, they talk about him like the people in the NFL circles think he's, wide receiver number 1.
Mhm.
Even with him being mentioned with Washington, they're like, oh yeah, Washington has him as the clear cut wide receiver number 1 on their draft board. So I think with him not running the 40, I actually think that he has a guarantee from a team in the top 10, pulling like some NBA type stuff.
Okay.
Because there's like no reason why he shouldn't have run that 40. And the biggest reason why, I just think that any of the other top receivers, like an Olave, like a Jameson Williams, like a Garrett Wilson, I think that their skill set is redundant with Elijah Moore, who they spent pretty high draft capital on last
Mhm.
year. So pairing a 6'4" receiver with Elijah Moore, who's shifty in and out his breaks like these other receivers have to offer you, I think they're looking for, different skill sets in that receiver room.
Damn. So Zach Wilson is going to have Corey Davis on one side, Drake London on one side, Elijah Moore in the slot. And Drake London has the versatility because he's played in the slot and on the outside. What reason does he have to not succeed at this point?
So now you see why I think that's will be a perfect pick because it'll be matchups galore, and you got to help that rookie, that young quarterback. You got to help that young quarterback.
Okay. Okay. Drake London at 4 to the Jets. I like it. I like it. And we're staying in New York with the 5th pick. Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. This is their first pick with the New York Giants. I hate the draft capital that the Giants and the Eagles have this year. This is
Mm-hmm.
just exquisite draft capital. You
Mm-hmm.
get 2 foundational building blocks in your first class as a coach and GM pairing, and you need to hit on both picks. So we're not even gonna think hard and think long about it. Daniel Jones needs to be protected if you're going to try to make him the guy. Like, they're trying to make fetch happen with Daniel Jones. They're trying to force that shit to happen. They're trying to force it out of him. And he has talent. He just never puts it all together. Andrew Thomas is starting to ascend as a tackle. Well, we're gonna pair him with a guy that's better than him, and we can put them on either side. We're gonna pair him with Evan Neal out of Alabama, probably the most complete tackle in the draft. Not even going to think long and hard about it. Let's protect this guy and let's see what he can do, or we're going to replace him. Evan Neal is either going to protect Daniel Jones or he's going to protect his replacement. I'm not even going to get into the Tyrod Taylor thing because I don't expect Tyrod to see much burn.
Yeah, okay. I love that Evan Neal pick because I think he gives you the potential to play right tackle as well. And like you said, they spent pretty high draft capital on Andrew Thomas in 2020. So you get a chance to get those bookend, tackles. I know Andrew Thomas wasn't good in his rookie year, but I think he had a pretty good bounce back year in his sophomore year. So I think Evan Neal is the right tackle for that pick. While I think there may be better tackles who have higher ceilings, I think he's a perfect fit for the New York Giants at 5.
Absolutely. What up, Queen Sheen? George said Jets better get some offensive line with the other pick. Yep, they got another pick. We're gonna see what they do with the pick. Michael Underwood. I know we get to both picks for the Giants and Jets.
Yes, right.
Won't be a trade for picks in the first round by the Commanders per se. Mayhew. Hey, I don't know. I think that based on the press conference today, a trade could be in the works, but I'm not sure, man. Giants need a healthy running back too. I know, bro. When you draft a running back at the second pick of the draft, you live with the consequences.
I mean, isn't that why you get a guy like Evan Neal to, give that draft pick as long as a chance of a trial run as possible? Because, they don't want to admit that it was a bad pick. Talking about Saquon. So you want to run that court as long as you can, for sure.
All right. We got a coach on the hot seat and a meddling owner with the next pick out of Carolina. Ron's stomping grounds. What are we thinking with the 6th pick, Stunna?
Man, I'm going to be the first to say it. I'm not buying the smoke. You've heard all the reports, everybody talking about Carolina is not going quarterback. So who are they going to charge out there? Sam Darnold again? Like, come on, no, I don't believe it. So with the 6th pick in the 2022 draft, the Carolina Panthers select quarterback Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett. And the reason that I go with Kenny Pickett is because the history is there. This is a guy who Matt Rule recruited to Temple when he was the head coach there. Kenny Pickett actually committed there before Matt Rule had, gone on to Baylor. So I think that they'll reconnect. It was something that he saw in him at a young age. Obviously his hand size didn't scare him enough to have, given him a scholarship. So like I said, it's a need. And I think that Kenny Pickett has a lot of potential. Over at Bleeding B&G in the fall, we were screaming that he was quarterback 1. That was when Malik was having a lot of his struggles and things like that. But I still think he's firmly a top that top 2 quarterback tier for sure. So I think that's a solid pick. Kenny Pickett going to Carolina at 6.
Absolutely. Kenny Small Hands Pickett. That's my guy. I don't believe this bullshit at all that they're not drafting a quarterback. Dude, y'all have to take a quarterback. Are y'all really going to trade for Baker?
Right.
What are y'all going to do? Our Scott Fritterer came out and said, our priority is to protect the quarterback. What quarterback?
What quarterback? Who? Sam?
If I'm correct, they don't pick again until the 4th round, too. Yeah. So what are you going to do? You're just going to pick a tackle and you're just going to sit back and watch the draft for a couple rounds and the tackle's protecting a ghost? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Jarris, what's good? He said, Rambling Rio. I can't wait for y'all to see some of these draft predictions I got for Wednesday. And I don't go for what any expert or team says teams are going to trade up for quarterback. Exactly.
It happens every year in the draft.
Hey, they said, was that a Mean Girls reference would make fetch happen? We cultured over here. Mean Girls is a cult classic. And yes, that was a Gretchen Wiener's Mean Girls reference. I'm very versatile over here. We do that over here. What time is the draft party, Valerie? It's at 6 p.m. on Thursday at FedEx Field, which takes us to the next pick. I got the next pick for the Giants. We went to protect Daniel Jones the first time. With the 2nd pick, the 7th pick of the draft, we're going sauce. We're getting the swagged out 6'4", long, lengthy. I never gave up a touchdown at Cincinnati. Cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner. Not much to think about. He's walking in that cornerback room, the best one in the room. Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury, bless your hearts. Ahmad Gardner is better than both of you. He's not my cornerback one in the draft, but I think he's like a 1B because Derek Stingley's tape. We're gonna get to Derek Stingley in a little bit, but I think Derek Stingley edges him out. We both agree on that. But the Giants start the draft with Everdale and Sauce Gardner, and as a Washington fan, that makes me kind of say, "Oh, they're doing some good things over there, man."
Yeah, no, I love the pick. Like you said, while Sauce isn't necessarily our cornerback one, I think that the New York Giants are notoriously known to be playing press man coverage. Throughout any defensive coordinator, they play press man. And I think that that's still going to be a pattern in that organization. I think that Sauce is the perfect press man corner. Like you said, 6'3" with over 34-inch arms. Like he has all the physicality, all the physical attributes to be the best corner in the NFL at some point in his career.
Hell yeah, man. You can't even overlook that. Joe Shane, y'all are knocking this shit out the park with your first 2 picks of the draft. My man said Jimmy G trade for the Panthers. Jimmy G still has to get traded. That's a storyline I forgot all about. Nobody wanted Jimmy G. The shoulder surgery on top of people realizing that Jimmy G is really not something you want to trade for. He's going to end up going for like a 5th round pick or some shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're going to wait to see how this first round rocks out. But I think that Jimmy G is not going to be a 49er through the weekend for sure.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons are up next. They missed big on Deshaun Watson. They were very close. Their receiving room is also poverty. What are the Falcons doing at 8?
Honestly, this is a guy that we didn't expect to be here and arguably the best player in the draft. So we're going to keep this boy in red and black. We're going to keep this boy in the state of Georgia. And with the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select defensive lineman Trayvon Walker from the University of Georgia.
Keep it in the family. Okay.
Like I said, this might be the best value pick in the draft right now. I don't know what you think about it because, like I said, this is arguably the best player in the draft. And I had the most fun watching his film, man. This guy played in the 1-tech, in the 2-tech, the 3-tech. Like he was playing all over the field. I can't tell if he's a 3-tech or an edge rusher. He's out there running 4.7 and 270 pounds. This is a beast, and I think that he was the best player on that Georgia defense, which is a historic defense. So he's going to bring instant pedigree to a struggling Falcons defense, and they need it for sure.
Hell yeah, they definitely need it. They've been missing on edge players for a while now. Things didn't work out with their last couple guys. Keeping it in the Georgia family. The value at the pick is absolutely immaculate, and that's going to be a trend going forward because the value at the next pick, I love it. And with the 9th pick of the draft, Seattle, both quarterbacks that we would be interested in taking here for John Schneider and Pete Carroll, they're both off the board. So we're not going quarterback. Seattle loves their cornerbacks. And to me, I'm getting the best cornerback in the draft here with the 9th pick. Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. Don't let the games missed in the lack of availability over the last 2 years get it twisted. His freshman year is the best cornerback tape of any guy coming out in the last 5 to 7 drafts. And I will stand on that shit.
Easily. They don't know. I love that pick, man. Like you said, Seattle loves their cornerbacks, and they're starting to mix up their coverages, not playing as much zone. And I think a guy like Derek Stingley Jr. can give it to you any which way. I think that's a home run pick at the 9th pick for sure.
Hell yeah. And to round out the top 10, you got the Jets another time. You got your 2nd pick. They said, hey, man, you got to protect Zach Wilson. What you going to do with the 10th pick, man?
So I guess they were reading my mind because with the 10th pick, the New York Jets are going to select tackle Ikem Ekwonu out of the North Carolina State University. And when you mentioned Evan Neal, like I said, that's not my, favorite tackle. And this is because this is a beast. And what I think a lot of guys are forgetting is that Mekhi Becton is a damn good football player when he's healthy. I remember him in his first career game manhandling Nick Bosa like it was nothing. Like, so if you pair Mekhi Becton with a guy like Ekwonu, who is like, I thought I was at IHOP watching his tape, bro. So many pancakes. I was like, oh my God. Like, he was just bullying dudes. So if you get those 2 bullies at the bookend with Drake London and those receivers that we mentioned with the 4th pick and Zach Wilson, Hey, the Jets might be winning the Super Bowl in a couple of years. I'm just here to say it.
Okay. I'm sure Joe Douglas would love to hear that, man. So they get Drake London and Ike Ekwonu in the top 10, and that rounds out our top 10 of our draft. We're 24 minutes in. As we after we hit on the Washington pick and a couple more, we're gonna kind of speed round it because we don't gotta sit here and act like this is the actual draft, but we're gonna give you the whole first round. Shout out to my guy Mega, or shout out to whoever mentioned that the Packers tried to trade for Darren Waller today. Did you peep?
Yeah, I saw that like an hour before the stream. I think that they're trying to use that as like their big receiver type, because they know they're not going to go receiver in the draft. But we'll touch on that a little later.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, Rodgers needs something out there, man. He just lost a big player, and he said Waller's too quality. He'd be worth the money. Hell yeah, the Packers need it at this point. Williams for the Commanders. Let's go. We're gonna see. I got the Commanders with the next pick, and I'm probably about to piss some people off with this pick. This better mean Kyle Hamilton, Rio. We're gonna have issues. George, you know you're my guy. I love you, my guy. We got Kyle Hamilton on the board. You know Ron's Buffalo nickel.
Buffalo nickel. You know, we got to get our Buffalo nickel with the
You know we got to get our Buffalo nickel, man, and we're going to get him later in the draft. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. Big Doug, this is your guy out of Mississippi State, Charles Cross, offensive tackle, probably the best pass blocking tackle in the draft. Needs some work on the run side. Great value there. Not going him either. So I'm going to be frank with you. The last pick of the draft was the Jets. We're staying on the Jets because we're getting on the G5 with the next pick. The next pick with the 11th pick of the Rio and Stunna mock draft.
Talk to me.
The Washington Commanders are picking Garrett G5 Wilson, a.k.a. Odell Beckham 2.0. Give it to me. I'm not even thinking twice about it. This is the best wide receiver in the draft class that's actually healthy, because I think there would be a discussion to be had if Jameson Williams' ACL was intact at this moment. But Garrett Wilson's healthy. He's explosive. He plays bigger than his size. He goes up and gets the ball as if he was Drake London's size. He does the most after he gets the ball in his hand. He's a route technician. He checks all of the boxes, and we would have a co-wide receiver one situation, Buckeyes style, with Terry and Garrett Wilson. Talk to me nice. What you think?
Man, like you said, like I know I took Drake London earlier, and like I said, I think that's because a lot of these other receiver skill sets is redundant. But Garrett Wilson is my clear-cut receiver one. This is a guy who is a freak, and I think that we were the first two in the community that gave him that Odell Beckham, baby Odell comparison. And, you know, a lot of people scoffed at it and thought it was crazy. No, as a prospect, the body control, the shiftiness, the suddenness, the run after the feet, the run after the catch. He's everything Odell was outside of, you know, the generational type hands. But who says he can't develop that? Because this dude is jumping 60 feet in the air to win a championship game. So I mean, this is an amazing pick. You knocked this out of the park. You pair him with a guy like Terry McLaurin. You got an Ohio State stable with Curtis Samuel. You got speed galore. Yeah, this is a crazy pick at 11, man.
Yeah, man, I love it. This is a home run. This is exciting. This is like, I need to know what number he's wearing immediately. It should be number 1 because we don't got too many single digits left, and that is just absolute. He is built for the number 1. DeAndre Carter, bless your heart. You had a great season for us. This is the type of player that should be rocking that Uno in a Washington uniform.
And let me say this, because I really want this to happen. So if our Washington picks happen in back-to-back years and they actually happen to hit, y'all got to tune into this for the rest of eternity. Like, y'all got to tune into this for the rest of your lifetime, because you never really get that in back-to-back years. But I guess we're going on to number 12 now.
Yes, sir. And there's some value on the board.
With the 12th pick, it's another guy that I really didn't expect to be on the board. But, you know, he ran a little slower 40 time, but this may arguably be the best player in the draft as well. So with the 12th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select safety, Kyle Hamilton, out of the University of Notre Dame. So they're going to be filling in old Notre Dame safety and Harrison Smith with his protege. So I think he's going to learn the ropes from Harrison Smith. He can play that free safety role while Harrison Smith, you know, runs out his career or runs the course of his career or his contract with the Vikings. He can learn under Harrison Smith's tutelage. So I think that relationship, and I think, you know, that positional versatility, you know, the Vikings need a lot of help at linebacker as well. And I think that he can fill in that role in the pinch. I think that's a home run pick for the Vikings at 12. DB Kyle Hamilton.
I don't think Michael. I hear you, but Curtis Samuel ain't stopping no team from drafting a better receiver in the first round. Curtis
He
Samuel's gonna
better
be.
not.
He's going to be used like a Swiss Army knife. He's not going to be our outside starting receiver opposite Terry McLaurin. We need one of those. And Tom McShay, hey, he's not like some god or anything. He said on his podcast today, he's 80-20 in believing that Washington's going to take a wide receiver with the pick. And the Vikings just got incredible value. Appreciate you, Steve. My guy, Steve, what's good, man? Let's talk Washington. You just got incredible value at the 12th pick with Kyle Hamilton, and with the 13th pick, I'm getting more value for the Houston Texans. There's a couple premium positions in the league. It's quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher. And with the first pick, we got Kayvon Thibodeau in Houston. And now we're going to protect our investment. We're getting the best pass blocking tackle in the draft. Word to the Big Douglas Show. Mr. Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. There's nothing more I need to say to it. We can go straight to number 14 to the Ravens, man. What are you thinking here? A well-run organization.
A well-run organization that loves the trenches. You know that, from Haloti Nada to Brandon Williams to Calais Campbell to Tony Siragusa. So we're going to keep it in the line with them trenches. You know, they could go a lot of different ways. They can get a receiver. They can get an offensive lineman. But they're going to go with Jordan Davis, a run-stuffing defensive tackle, to be in the middle of that 3-4 defense for years to come. I think this is a guy that's going to eat up blocks and let those young linebackers excel for sure.
Hell yeah, I love the pick. I love the pick. And the Ravens just never do any wrong, bro. They just build it right. They just seamlessly went from Ozzie Newsome to Eric DeCosta. They usually always hit on their early picks, and they're about to get another absolute giant freakazoid.
Doesn't he feel like a Raven to you, though? Doesn't he fit the bill of what it means to be a Raven?
He does. He definitely feels like a Raven. Anthony said Wentz shouldn't stop anyone from drafting a real quarterback. I hear you, but when you trade a third and a potential second and eat a $28 million contract, it certainly stops you from drafting a quarterback off the early. And I think Wentz is better than what's going to be on the board at 11, because we predict that Pickett and Willis going to be off the board at 11. And I like Ritter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like Wentz better than what we're going to get from the rest of the quarterback class. Mm-hmm. But I hear you, though. I hear you. None of these quarterbacks are worth a pick. I don't know if I'd agree with that, Outlaw. I don't know if I'd agree with that part, because I think some of these quarterbacks are going to surprise some folks. I got Philly, who have they had 3 first-round picks, but they made a trade with the Saints because they're already posturing for the quarterback class of next year, because they know Jalen Hurts not going to cut it long term. With their first pick at number 15, I am taking great value. Jermaine Johnson, possibly the most athletic edge guy out of this Florida State class. And that's how we start. We're starting off the edge for Philadelphia. I hope Philly 500, my guy, approves. That's an easy pick. That's a home run pick. Don't even got to get that much into it. Let's go down to the Bayou.
Let's go down to the Bayou. And I can't believe this guy is still on the board. Actually, I kind of can with his freakish injury. But this is a guy with reports coming out in the last couple of days that he may very well go in the top 10. And I know at one point you was thinking he was the best receiver in the draft. 4.2 speed, something gives you something that the Saints don't have. And you can pair him alongside Michael Thomas, and that's wide receiver Jameson Williams from the University of Alabama. Like I said, 4.2 speed demon, projected to come back by the middle of the season at the latest. So I think he can be an instant contributor in that New Orleans offense.
Yep, and they may have the luxury playing in that division where all they got is the Bucks. They may have the luxury to wait on him too, because they got decent weapons out there. And shit, he's already jogging and doing sprints and shit. Like, he may be back earlier than projected, but when you tear your knee up in the last game of the season in January, that's just horrible. That's devastating to see. And that type of shit, it makes you understand where these college athletes that opt out of games are coming from. Like, when people judge them, oh, you don't love your teammates, you don't respect your brothers. Listen, man, I love my brothers, but I also got a family to feed and a career to look after. And if I feel like I've put enough on tape prior to the national championship, then fuck that game. Like to be frank, yeah, that's how I feel about it. But Jameson Williams, pre-injury, that's wide receiver 1. I'll put him as like 1B or 2 after the ACL. But like our team, I don't feel like we could afford to not have a receiver that can do the full off season with Carson Wentz and get an immediate chemistry and rapport growing.
Right. Absolutely. No, I agree 100%.
Hell yeah, and which takes us to number 17, the LA Chargers. I wanna pair up, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to put they just got JC Jackson in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pair him up with a guy and just absolute. They got Khalil Mack. You know, we're gonna make we're gonna put the defense over the top. We're gonna go with the next best cornerback on the board. We're going Trent McDuffie out of Washington. You know those Washington corners always hit, man. They're like Iowa players in the trenches, bro. Washington DBs always produce in the league. Point
Mm-hmm.
blank, period. You're solidifying your defense. You got the Eagles' next pick in the first round.
All right, so I'm over here with the 18th pick. So with the 18th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select center Tyler Lindenbaum out of the University of Iowa. This is a guy that's going to succeed Jason Kelsey. It seems like for the last 3 or 4 years, Jason Kelsey's been contemplating retirement. We've been having to wait till March or April to see if he's going to play again. So I think that this year may actually be his last. And at that point, you're going to actually need a center. And why not take the best center in the draft? So I think that this is a guy that can fill in a pinch and play some guard. He's a little on the light side, but I think that this is a move for the future. They may be pairing him with, their quarterback one going into 2023, a fresh start with Tyler Linderbaum at center as well. So at 18, Tyler Linderbaum, University. University of Iowa.
DeAndre, we sabotaging the Eagles. How? We gave him Jermaine Johnson and Tyler Lindenbaum. Tyler Lindenbaum is a top 20 projected pick. That's why when people was killing me for my mock with trades that I did earlier, like, why would you take a center in the second round? First of all, if we drafted Lindenbaum, he's playing guard, and he may be a little undersized for the position, but that's a top 20 to top 25 projected player. What we talking about here, man?
You get good players where they are.
Hell yeah. Hey, shout out to my man Pascal. We get good players where they are. And I'm going to surprise some folks with this next pick at 19. The Saints made a move for a reason. I think their reason was to get a really good player and then get a quarterback for the future as well. They just took Jameson Williams at 16. At 19, we're getting that boy from Ole Miss. We're getting Matt Corral, swaggy in the building. Number 2, we got to do with some moxie. You know what I'm saying? Swaggy, get the whole locker room behind him. Absolute fearless, twitchy, crazy arm. He went down with a sprained ankle late in the season in his bowl game. Once again, opt-out bowl games, guys. But I like the player. I think he's been forgotten about in the process because we didn't see him at the Senior Bowl. We didn't see him performing on the field at the Combine. But Matt Corral is an impressive prospect. He's a guy we actually had a lot of conversation about before we made the Wentz trade about possibly Washington taking. And I like the dude, man. He worked on his interceptions this year. He cut his picks and turnovers in half. And I like what he did. I think it's a perfect fit in New Orleans for the future. And we're moving on to Pittsburgh. But what do you think about Corral in New Orleans? What do you like? What do you think about the fit?
I'm not mad at pairing him with a receiver. While he may not be my quarterback 3, if you give him a guy that he can gel with throughout his career, pairing him with a safety blanket guy like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, I think that he can succeed, especially with a guy like Jameson Williams. They can open up the offense for sure. I think you got to simplify the playbook for him a little bit, but he can put up some points. He showed that at Ole Miss for sure.
Okay, and you got number 20 to close out the top 20 of the draft. The first year post-Ben, the post-Roethlisberger era for the Steelers. How are they starting that era off, my guy?
The first year post-Ben. So I know a lot of people here are expecting the Steelers to go quarterback. But, a lot of the quarterbacks that, I think are worth a top 20 pick are taken off the board. So with the 20th pick, I go with their next biggest weakness on their entire team, and that's the offensive line. So with the 20th pick, I take the pride of Bowie, Maryland, from my hometown, or where I live right now. Zion Johnson from Boston College. Shout out to Zion Johnson. This is a guy who's nasty. He's big. He's nimble. I think that he can excel in the outside zone scheme. So he gives the Steelers somebody that fits their profile as the type of player they want. Gritty in the trenches and somebody that can open up a lot of holes for Najee Harris for sure.
Okay, so do you think the Steelers are thinking quarterback in the next round, or do you think they're going to at least see what Mitch Trubisky can do? Because this franchise does not do the carousel of quarterbacks and coaches. Like, they've had very few of each in their history of their franchise.
I think that I think that they may look at a quarterback late. I think there was a reason why they kept their quarterback room young. With the I have to mention the unfortunate passing of Dwayne Haskins, but I think that there was a reason why they kept their quarterback room young, hoping that those guys gel with each other and things like that, and have them guys actually competing to see what a Mitch can do, to see what a Mason Rudolph or those type of dudes can do again, giving them one more chance, and hopefully go for a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud next year.
They said go get Sam Howell. I think I think they're smarter to wait on a quarterback, and if they really wanted one of those guys, they could find a way to jump back late into the first to
In the
get that
first
fifth
round,
year,
yep.
or trade up in the second, because guys are going to be. I think there'll be 4 quarterbacks in the first round, and that fourth one may come in a trade up type situation. But that caps off our top 20 in our mock draft. So we're gonna kind of speed round through 21 through 32. I'm on the clock with the Patriots. I'm not even thinking too long and hard about it. We just lost JC Jackson in the secondary. We're gonna get the next best corner on the board, Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson. Easy need to fill. We could have went wide receiver. We could go wide receiver in the next round. Give Mac Jones some more help. We're going corner here. 22 Green Bay. You're on the clock.
Not gonna lie, with this 22nd pick, I didn't realize that the player you were going to take next was still on the board. I was so mad when you sent me that name. So I think that the player you take next could be the pick for 22. I do want to mention that. But with the 22nd pick, I did have the Green Bay Packers selecting linebacker Devin Lloyd from the University of Utah. This is a guy great in coverage, amazing in coverage. I know that the Green Bay Packers, they play a lot of cover too, so I think that he's going to be effective roaming in the middle of that defense. They haven't necessarily had a star in the middle of that defense since who, AJ Hawk maybe. So yeah, that's a position that can use an immediate upgrade, and a guy like Devin Lloyd can give it to him for sure.
Anthony said, "Can I make the 24th pick? Because you commode losers won't do the pick justice." It's definitely a Dallas fan, man. It's a Dallas fan when they got a joke that don't really hit, but you gotta be nice. But let's see where we at. So you went with Devin Lloyd, linebacker. Why Devin Lloyd over Nakobe Dean?
I just think that he fits that middle linebacker role more. And Green Bay, they already have a weak side linebacker who was an All-Pro last year in Devondre Campbell, and that's ultimately the role I think that Nakobe Dean is going to play in the NFL. So I think that his skill set is a little redundant with Devondre Campbell. So I just think that he's a better fit for Green Bay.
Hell yeah. And oh man, you definitely didn't see who I was going with this next one, because the Packers could definitely use some wide receiver help. There's somebody who has no goddamn reason being on the board at pick 23 for the Arizona Cardinals, who do not care about anything but offense. Nothing but offense. It is all it's the Kyler Cliff Kingsbury like offensive show there. We're going to go ahead and give them Chris Olave. They lost Christian Kirk, who got the most ridiculous wide receiver contract I've seen in quite some time. You go get the smooth operator. I call him the Maserati, the technician, to pair him up with DeAndre Hopkins, man. That's going to be a great pick. And the Cardinals, at least in the regular season, they're going to be off and rolling again. We got the Dallas Cowshits coming up next at 24.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowshits. But with the 24th pick, they do get a hell of a player here at this value. With the 24th pick, I have them selecting George Karlaftis, the Greek god out of the University of Purdue. This is a guy, I actually think he might be the most technically sound edge in this year's draft. And then he went ahead and put in freakish numbers, like running a 4.740 at what, 265 pounds. So this is a team that, lost Randy Gregory. I know they were talking about DeMarcus Lawrence not playing up to his contract, and I think this may be his last year in Dallas. So, replenishing some edge injection with some youthful injection in the edge department. I think that can help the Dallas Cowshits out a lot for sure.
Oh yeah, hey Anthony, let us know how we did with the Dallas pick. George Karlaftis is nice, man. I don't know how much football you Cowboy fans actually watch, but this kid he should be picked a lot sooner than 24. So just to let you guys know, if you're tuned in, that's a good football player. Y'all don't watch too much of this sport though, so I already know. But yeah, man, Dallas gets George Karlaftis, probably the most fun name to say in the first round. Buffalo Bills up at number 25. I'm gonna pair someone up with Jadavius White. I'm gonna go DM. I'm going Kyer Elam, cornerback, Florida. I don't got much to say. We need to cover some guys. The way that the Chiefs was just going up and down the field, you know what I'm saying? We want to bitch about the overtime rule. If you just kept them from getting down the field in 13 seconds, there would have been no overtime rule to complain about. Get a corner, protect it, and like unlock your Super Bowl window because that motherfucker is open right now. So Kyer Elam, cornerback, Florida, 26, Tennessee Titans, you're on the board. You're on the clock.
So the Julio Jones experiment didn't work out for the Tennessee Titans last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a guy that I think can be that bully over there on the outside.
Your
And this is
boy.
a guy that we're very high on. You know, I think he has the potential to be wide receiver one because if we're being honest, before his knee injury, he was wide receiver one in this class before his knee injury, and that's wide receiver George Pickens out of the University of Georgia. This is a 6'3", 205-pound specimen. And like I said, he's talented. This is a guy that broke out in the SEC at 18 years old. So I think that if he regains that form, and I think he's there running a 4.40, I think he has the best hands in the class. I think that his route running is up there for a 6'3" guy. I think that he's an exceptional blocker, so he's going to go ahead and put it in for Derrick Henry when they're running the ball. So, yeah, I love that pick.
Okay. I love the pick, too, because George Pickens is a dog. So many people forget that, like, he bullied in the SEC, bro. Like, he didn't bully some trash-ass conference. He was going crazy before the injuries, man. He'll put his head in. He got that fight in him, bro. He's not taking shit from nobody. He plays with great speed for his size. He's a good route runner. He's the forgotten receiver in this class. Him and another guy, like, because Treylon Burks is still on the board, which is crazy at this point. And I'm on the board right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady just had to come back, bro. Without Brady back, I'm sitting here like, bro, we got like a top 6 quarterback in the conference. NFC South don't even exist. And then Brady comes back. So they're an automatic Super Bowl contender. They put on a classic versus the Rams in the second round of the playoffs. They don't really have any really pressing, glaring needs. So this is what people would call a reach, but when you're a team of this magnitude with the GOAT quarterbacking, you can make a reach like this. And I'm taking tight end Trey McBride out of Colorado State with the 22nd pick in the draft. I'm not even going to take a chance on him going in the second round at some point. I'm going to go ahead and replace Gronk with another Gronk light. Best move tight end in the draft. This is a dude cut from the same cloth as a Kittle, Kelsey, and those type of players. If anybody can make a reach like this, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, that's going to leave a lot of us hurt. We was hoping he was going to be there at 47. You breaking a lot of Commanders fans' hearts right there, Rio. What you doing, man?
Yeah, that hurt me. It hurt me to do it, but I was like, if any team can make this pick, it's the Bucs.
That's a luxury pick for them for sure.
Hell yeah, they can make it. Not like most teams would get killed for this, but it would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Gronk can enjoy his retirement, and Brady can get young Gronk and put him right to work.
Oh, yeah, I'm not mad at that pick for sure. So over here at 28, as I mentioned, the last time this team was on the clock, I didn't know a receiver like Chris Olave was still on the board. So I went ahead and got the next best receiver that was still on the board. And that's wide receiver Treylon Burks out of the University of Arkansas.
Yes,
this
sir.
is a big body guy, 6'2", almost 6'3", 225 pounds. He can run end arounds, and he's a guy that can give it to you in your offense any type of way. You know, the Green Bay Packers, they love to run bubble screens and, you know, short passes at the line of scrimmage. And this is what this dude excels at, run after the catch. No, he didn't light up the combine, but if you go watch his film, he was burning SEC DBs week in and week out. So pairing him with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I think that's going to pair for a good couple of years while Aaron Rodgers, you know, plays out his last couple of years in Green Bay.
Okay, Treylon Burks. A lot of people, he's the forgotten about receiver, man. Was it the 40-yard dash? Yeah, that's why guys like Drake London, they get to skate on that because, you know, he didn't put himself in a position to be like like Drake London didn't put himself in a position to get scrutinized for what he
Mhm.
did not on the field, but in underwear, like Traylon Burks and Kyle Hamilton did. So is that you think that's why Traylon Burks is being slept on and falling down boards?
It was absolutely the combine. And like I told you guys that day, and I know it's cynical, but his reaction after running a 4.55, I did not love it. It was almost like he had ran his fastest time of his life. Like he was expecting to be slower. So I was just like, I know that lowered him on my board just off that reaction because it was almost like he was used to putting up 4.6 times in camp and stuff. Like he was fist pumping and everything for a 4.55. My eyebrow raised a little bit after that.
Oh yeah, man. Like they could I like it, man. I like it for sure. And I think Traylon Burks can be used like Debo, like my guy George said, but he can do it all. Like he makes shit happen with the ball in his hands. Like he definitely plays faster than that 40 time. This dude's taking reverses, jet sweeps, screen
Physical.
passes to the
Physical.
crib. Hell
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Jump ball guy. He's a very good receiver. Like for Washington, I'm cool if we get any of the top 4 or 5 guys, man. Like I want a receiver for them at some point, but this is not about Washington right now. We got the Chiefs on the clock who just traded the cheetah, just disconnected the Mahomes to Cheetah connection, and we need to get them some weapons. But first, we're not going there though. We're going to get another one of those Georgia Bulldogs. That's a theme of this draft. There's a lot of those Georgia Bulldogs defenders going early in this draft. Devontae Wyatt, staple monster up front.
Mm-hmm.
What else are they doing? Because they definitely still need a weapon, and they're still on the board. You got the next one.
So I got that next pick, and I guess it's up to me to give him that weapon, right? So I guess I'm gonna do it. So with the 30th pick, they take wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of the University of Penn State. I think this is a match made in heaven. While I don't think he has the dominant, physical traits to be a wide receiver one, this is a guy that's electric with the ball in his hands. This is a guy that in an Andy Reid offense, he's going to make some plays as a rookie. I'm just guaranteeing that now. He plays bigger than his size, and he's a jitterbug, like I said, running without the ball or with the ball in his hands. I think that's a perfect pick for that NASCAR offense out in Kansas City.
Okay, and why Jahan Dotson over a Christian Watson or an Alex Pierce or John Mechie?
I just think that when you think about Kansas City in recent years, yeah, the play may change with Tyreek Hill, but I think that they've been more concerned on getting the ball in their playmakers' hands earlier, and I think that Jahan Dotson is the best run after catch guy here. And I think that he can give you something like you were looking in like a Byron Pringle, or like you were looking in a Sammy Watkins. You may still need a guy to replace Tyreek Hill, and you're not going to get that guy in this draft unless it's a guy like Jameson Williams. But if you don't get that guy, I think Jahan Dotson is a perfect plan B.
Absolutely. And with the 31st pick in the draft, we're down to the team that lost the Super Bowl. I was thinking maybe add more to the line here, so Joe Burrow can have that extra second to hit Jamar Chase and win the Super Bowl because he put the moves on Jalen Ramsey. But, we're giving Jesse Bates a running mate back there at that safety spot. We're going Daxton Hill. And I know this is a guy you were looking at for number 32 as well for the Lions. But Daxton Hill, he's a guy, he can be a Buffalo nickel. He could be a free, he could be a strong, he could come down in the slot. You could put him on the he's a guy that you can put anywhere on the defense. He's going to make plays. He has no business being here at pick 31. The Bengals have one of the best young safety tandems in the league. And now we're closing out the first round with the Detroit Lions, who surprisingly took Malik Willis with the second overall pick in this class. How are they closing it out?
So you mentioned we take Malik Willis with the second overall pick. So we're going to get him some protection to close out the first round. While I'm not the highest on this guy, this is a guy who's his physical stature is just simply remarkable. He might have the best frame for the offensive tackles in the entire class, and that's tackle Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa. Okay. So this is a guy that you can pair with a guy like Penei Sewell, who was playing the right tackle position. You can slide him over to what I believe is his more natural position in the left, and you can have bookend tackles for your future quarterback in Malik Willis.
Absolutely, man. Oh, what the hell is happening right now? Why is it like stuck? Hold up. Oh, whoa. This John Wallen right now.
So I'm not sure what happened. What's up, guys? This is Jalen over here from Bleeding BNG. Make sure you guys subscribe to my page. daily podcast posts. Daily podcast posts. Make sure you subscribe to my subscription page. My social media pages, and my guys are back. So here we are.
We ain't done yet. We had a little technical difficulties. Like, apparently, the mock draft simulator did not want me to close it yet, but that's how we close out the round. I'm gonna pull up the draft so you can see exactly how both of us fared in it. And this is Rio and Stunna's 2022 NFL mock draft. Jalen did the evens and I did the odds. How do you think we did, my man?
Man, as we did last year, we knocked it out the park, man. I think every pick makes sense. I think we got good value for almost every team. I think that we gave it a little drama. I think we gave it a flair, that comes with the draft. One thing that sticks out to me is I think we took 8 receivers in the draft in the first round. And I think that, that will set the record. I think the record is 7. But I think, this is a copycat league. So when you see success from a guy like Jamar Chase, not even just Jamar Chase, though, Jalen Waddle set the, rookie record for receptions. Devontae Smith did a very good job as a rookie. Justin Jefferson did an amazing job 2 years ago. Shoot, our very own Terry McLaurin, contributed as an instant impact rookie. So I think that this is a copycat league. Receivers is where it's at. And I think that that's what stood out is the fact that we took 8 receivers in the draft. That's a little crazy. How about you?
Hell yeah. And shout out to Asia Robinson, channel member. That's my mod. I hope your family's doing well. I hope your week has started off perfectly. Everybody send prayers to Miss Asia in the chat. I know your heart is hurting, man. I hope you and your family get by this. Life fucking sucks sometimes. I appreciate you still popping up in the chat and still showing support. I appreciate that. See that the simulator shit the bed like Wentz. Hey man, y'all get all your Wentz jokes now. George said, guys.
My man George.
Hell yeah, he said y'all were terrific, man. But let's see. Like my theme of the draft was value. We got some good value picks. The receivers, yes, was absolutely nuts. But when you keep hearing the word, this is a deep receiver draft, it gets to a point where once they start coming off the board, they may start flying off the board. And like you can keep saying like, well, you could just get one later until you get to the second round and 8 are already off the board. Mm-hmm. Like all our Washington fans, like I love Kyle Hamilton. I love Derek Stingley, who I don't think either is on the board there. But George Pickett's not going to be there at 47. John Dotson not going to be there at 47. Like Traylon Burks is not going to be there at 47. Like who are y'all expecting? Like, are we really about to just reach for Mechie at 47? Like, there's a big difference between Olave, Wilson, Williams, London, and John Mechie. Understand that. And Alec Pierce, great guy, great athletic. I feel like he's being slept on because he's a big, fast, white receiver. We're not used to seeing that.
Absolutely. Like Matt Jones, right?
Oh, my goodness. Matt Jones from the Jags. That's a throwback, man. That was that guy, man. Hell yeah. But I think we did a great job. I wonder how many of these picks we're going to hit. I hope the Washington pick comes true because I need Garrett Wilson in burgundy and gold, bro.
On Thursday, not going to be lit if that happens.
Oh, my God. It's gonna be crazy, bro.
Absolutely.
It's going to be crazy. Celtics bringing out them broom. Hey, they getting the Nets up out of here. Yeah. I don't ever want to hear anyone put Kevin Durant's name in the same sentence of LeBron.
How dare they?
Ever again. Let's get the Washington mock Rio for the one-time full round for Washington with trades and value there. I'm so excited. Hey, Wednesday maybe because I got a live tonight that we're about to close out right now. Tomorrow I'm going live with Ed and Corey. Wednesday night is free and we may have some shit to we may have some shit to do then. So Wednesday we might all get together and do a little something, man. Shout out to Queen Sheen, Asia, hang in there. But yeah, man, I'm good if you're good, bro. How you feel about our draft? We good?
Nah, man, like I said, I hope this is a tradition. I hope we get to do this every year until we turn 80 because I really enjoy doing this. Last year was fun, and I can't wait for Thursday.
Hell yeah. Who needs Mel Kiper and Todd McShay when you got Rio and Stunna?
Who needs them?
Hell yeah. And we bring an entertainment value, and we're not afraid to go against the grain. Go ahead and tell folks where they can find you, and then let's get up out of here, man.
For sure. So, guys, my name is Jalen Morgan from the Bleed and B&G podcast. You can search either one of those names, Bleed and Burgundy and Gold on YouTube. our channel will pop up. You can subscribe. We have weekly podcast posts. You can follow us on our social media pages at Bleeding BNG on Instagram. That's BLEEDING BNG on Instagram, and at Bleeding BNG on Twitter, BLEEDIN So it's only one G in our Twitter handle. But like I said, I love talking to the Washington Commander community. So be sure to chop it up. Follow me on there. I love doing this. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page.
Hey, he said, put these guys on Good Morning
My
Football. Bless
man.
your heart, man.
My
Hey,
man,
you see this guy right here? That's my brother right here, man. My guy Stunna, Jalen. If you subscribe to me, you follow me, follow my guy. He's mentioned in the title of this video. I'll put it the description of his channel there. If you scroll down on my page and you see after all the videos and playlists, you see something that says feature. It says Commander's Family. He's the second guy on that list. Follow my guy. And Burgundy and Gold Washington Commander fans, I know it's hard here. Stick with it. Take command and keep hailing to the Commanders. Shout out to the DMV. Shout out to NFL fans worldwide. Until next time, deuces.
They got me to salute.
Hey.